Ready to go. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Bruce Hughes, Chair of the Abington Planning Board. Welcome to our January 5th, 2026 Abington Planning Board meeting, 6 p.m. Abington Town Hall. At 6 p.m. I'm going to call this meeting to order. And Ms. Shea, our town planner, and Mr. Cogan, Ms. Shea has requested that I go right into the Form A.
Please.
So we have a Form A.
We do. It's the one that we had last month. I'll pass that down. Pass that down. You guys had some questions.
Yes, we should.
You guys had some questions on the plan, so I contacted the applicant's attorney, who had dropped the plans off, who was with us tonight.
Come on up. Please tell us who you are.
Mr. Chair, Walter Sullivan on behalf of the applicant. We're here tonight requesting an endorsement of its A&R. It has more than enough frontage as per the bylaw, zoning bylaw, in order to have the land subdivided, divided. And I think you guys had a question about the driveway.
Well, parking is on, the parking for the building is on a separate, it's going to be on a separate lot. Done. Parking is now on the same lot with the building, but parking is going to be on Lot B when you're done. So we're wondering, the question was, and I think I'll let the chairman speak first, but that was what we were looking for.
So we're here looking for the division of the property. We're not here to address zoning issues. However, with that being said, there is a driveway there that possibly do it two ways. Either one, move the driveway to the other side, or create a shared driveway, which I think you guys have done on one other site in Abington. But we're not at that stage. We're just trying to see, after dividing the properties, if there's any value in it, and then from there we'd have to meet zoning by law in order to do any construction.
Just let the guys take a look at this, just to have any more questions, stuff like that.
Sorry?
Just let the guys take a look at this.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Questions.
Yeah, the question we had is, are we creating, so the existing building is a pre-existing non-conforming structure. So the question we had was, if by approving this, are we worsening the non-conforming because there would be no potentially parking for the existing place? So I think that was the other part of the question that we had.
Well, it's kind of hard because what's before you in the plans that you have are not demonstrating that it meets zoning requirements, just that it meets the requirements under state law in order to have it divided. We would, if any work was going to be done, we would have to meet all the zoning requirements, and that would even include the question of whether it's still an existing non-conforming use, given that there's a change in the property.
There's nothing precedent that I can think of in the last 20 years. That's why we're kind of looking at it. Well, usually when properties get separated, nobody cares. It was just, but because this one is the way it looks and being non-conforming property, it's got us kind of wondering, making sure we ask all the right questions. And
oh yes, no question.
our engineer.
Shepard, do you have a question?
I do not.
Bob Salt person here?
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
Well.
Kevin, would you care to ask me?
Well. Well, Mr. Chairman, I would think that, subdividing these isn't an issue. If they try to develop any one of them, they have to go to the building inspector. So at that point, he can manage the property.
Mm-hmm. Sir, would you care to make a comment on?
I didn't quite hear you there.
Oh, I was just saying that I believe we could subdivide this because, like I say, you're just dividing a piece on paper.
Yes.
But if you ever go to develop B or change A, you're going to go before the building inspector, and he's going to flag
Right,
it.
and we'd have to meet all the zoning requirements.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. We had one piece of property years ago, and I haven't heard about it, maybe I shouldn't break luck, but he bought a piece of property that was non-conforming when it was built, and spent years and years trying to convince us why he should build on it now. But it was non-conforming to begin with, and it's still non-conforming. He couldn't prove that 1960 was conforming. But that's probably the only thing close enough that we're making sure that we don't end up with this guy coming in every single week going, "Oh my God."
It becomes a problem. When you have a non-conforming use, I mean, you can't make it more non-conforming.
Yeah.
So, that's clear under case law, that, you can keep it as is, but you can't make it more non-conforming.
Yeah.
And unless zoning changes, you really can't do much with the property, other than stay within that same footprint.
Well, I'd make the motion, just to get the discussion going, that we could accept the plan as it is. I don't see any words needed.
Did you get that, Liz?
Yeah, you made a motion to accept the A&R as presented?
Would someone like to second that, please?
I'll second.
Motion made to approve the A&R and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No?
Oops.
One no.
Oh, did you dissent, Rick?
Yes.
Okay, so 3 ayes and 1 dissent. Do we want to put these away and sign these at the end of the meeting?
Are you going to take the Mylar?
It's up,
That's all right.
Well, we can
They
sign it.
okay.
Yeah, we'll have them sign it.
Mark it.
And you can sign the rest of them after the meeting, but you can
Yeah.
sign the Mylar now.
Yeah, so we'll sign the Mylar right now. You got the magic pen?
I do have the magic pen.
You didn't use the magic pen.
See, this will work.
Is there a third paper copy, Raj?
No, just these two.
Oh, there's another one right here.
Oh, there we go.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'll let him sign this.
Yep.
Before I take his paper away.
Thanks.
Sorry. Okay, so I'll pass this down. Oh, he's going to sign it. 'Cause you're not going to sign this, Rick?
No.
Okay.
All set? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you, sir. Have a good evening. Sorry.
That's okay. I was going to say, wait a minute, you know what? Let's see, we can roll it up. You guys can keep going.
Speak among yourselves.
Go away from the mic.
That's good. Let the register that, they'll come up. Here it comes up.
Because Gary, very sober. I asked this one.
Yeah, so I was wondering if he was coming in.
Thanks, you
I know,
too.
and I was thinking that.
Liz, is
was,
Larry
Larry
coming tonight or
No.
virtual?
was backing up.
So
And I couldn't
if you
put
wanted to
his arguments were his.
hop into Gordon Circle, is that what you were asking?
Yeah.
He's not coming tonight because he's coming in February, and his suggestion was, well, my suggestion was you guys talk about what you want to do, and then in February, he'll be here anyway, and you can also, Mr. O'Leary is here tonight, but you could also invite the abutters. We didn't have enough time to get notification to the abutters, so that's sort of why it landed on the agenda tonight, for you guys to sort of have an internal discussion on the letter, and
Okay.
what you want to do, and then,
I think, yeah, Larry did a good job of laying it out in his letter to the board.
he did.
Just for reference, we received a letter from our planning board engineering consultant Larry Silver, Silver Engineering Associates, and he wrote a letter dated December 29th, 2025, RE Gordon Circle subdivision, and Larry had completed a review of the documents and plans, and he had a number of suggestions. So, gentlemen, Thoughts, comments?
So I think as a little background, I'm not sure if you remember that Mr. O'Leary came into the office and he was looking to get his bond back. And then he came back with the as-built and said he'd like to get the roadway accepted. And then his attorney sent letters to the four, right? Two, yeah, so there's 2 homeowners on Gordon Circle, and then there's the ones on each side of the road on Lincoln Street. And one of the homeowners is not going to sign the waiver and give up his rights to the road. And I'm not sure where everybody else stands. I'm dead certain on one neighbor who doesn't want to.
And how do we know that?
Mr. O'Leary told me and Larry told me.
Okay.
Yep. So anyway, so because of that, Mr. O'Leary said he did not want to get the roadway accepted, and so he would just want to get his bond money back. In the meantime, Larry went out and came back with this report.
And he raised a lot of concerns.
He did, so that's why I didn't know if you guys wanted to talk about this tonight and then have it go to February for a deeper discussion, or what you kind of wanted to, what direction you wanted to go.
Do you guys want to go over this point by point in the letter?
What was our nightmare on the Rockland Board? What was it called, wagon wheel? The name.
Oh, you're talking about Carriage Hill?
Carriage Hill.
Yeah, that, I mean, that's
Another
a,
Carriage Hill is.
but see, that never was going to come to the town for acceptance because it was in 2 different towns. And when he built it...
None of the neighbors knew that. They're all waiting for the town to take care of the road, and they're like, it's not our.
No, they all knew it. It was on their documents when they bought their homes initially.
Well, yeah.
I mean, if third owner in, if that didn't happen,
Yeah,
I mean-
Well, like this one person who doesn't understand the owning the center, doesn't understand, can't build a tent out there on the road.
so the 2 homeowners have been there since day one, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, I don't know what their expectation was or wasn't. That was one of the things Larry suggested, that we invite them in.
There's 3 total homes on,
It's 4 people altogether. There's 2 homes on the road, and then the 2 homes on Lincoln Street where the road cut in
oh, okay,
to the left and the right of the road.
gotcha.
The thing that sticks out to me in this comment letter is on top of page 3. Although some of the line items have been completed, the surety amount is insufficient to bring the road up to a level that would be required for acceptance. Failure to resolve and complete the roadway in 2006 has left the roadway in a deferred maintenance condition for nearly 2 decades. The funds available are not adequate to correct deficiencies and bring the roadway to acceptance quality. I believe that the residents of the subdivision expected a complete roadway and surety in the manner in which their investment in their homes and property was to be protected. I believe that the surety should be used to correct and upgrade the property roadway improvements to a level where acceptance is possible. I was approached by 2 of the residents at the time of my inspection, and I suggested that they be notified of the date and time that surety reduction request is going to be discussed to allow them to provide input.
So just to make sure I understand it, Mr. Chairman, so understanding Larry's remark, that there are insufficient funds to bring the roadway up to the level of acceptance, but the request before, or the request isn't to accept. Correct? We're not being asked to accept,
No,
or to move it forward for acceptance.
yeah, that's got to go before town meeting anyway.
Yeah. I guess I have a question that
Kevin?
you might be able to answer, given your longevity.
Well, on this earth, no.
Plan was never approved by the planning board, and the roadway remained private going back to 2006. Do you recall why it was never approved?
I don't. Kevin, do you have any research on this at all?
I don't. I think Liz will be right back, but
Yeah,
Okay.
she might know.
All right,
Chances are she'll know.
yeah. Wait on it. Is Shay to return? Meantime, we can think of anything else. It's a long time for this roadway not to be accepted.
If I may. Yeah, I think that some of the things that Larry has highlighted in his letter are things that you would expect to see or find 20 years or 25 years after the fact, and are certainly not uncommon in many of the subdivisions that are around town. The one that I guess that catches my attention is the drainage basin.
Yeah.
So if pavement shows settlement or granite curbing is chipped, then okay, that's, I guess, kind of what you'd expect after a period of time. But
No fire alarms, no street light at the intersection. Sidewalk is in need of an overlay, which means they were never done, it was never done. Never an overlay put on that. Interesting. Liz, the question was, do we have any idea why this wasn't approved in 2006?
It wasn't submitted.
Wasn't submitted in 2006. So this has been floating in the air all these years.
so no street light at the intersection, no fire alarm visible. Those are,
I don't know that he would need the fire alarm now, I'm not sure.
yeah, I guess that was the question I was going to ask, is so that those are things that would not have been required at the time that this was
So
put
I
before the board.
can follow up with DPW and fire department on those two.
Yeah.
Well, also, the driveway entrance on lot 241 Lincoln Street is low, allowing allowing runoff to run into the driveway from the street.
Yeah, just like my driveway.
Grass strip between the curbing and the sidewalk, that was required a long time ago. They don't do that now.
So just out of curiosity, if we decide that this road will not be accepted by the town, it'll remain private, how is it transferred to the property owners?
They already own it.
The two property owners already own the road.
And the two on the either side of Lincoln Street, where
Yep.
the road goes in, they both own up to the fee in the middle of the road. And then the two property owners, for lack of a better word, would own the circle piece.
Okay.
Now, in some towns, if streets aren't accepted, the property owners are required to pay for the plowing and stuff like that. Abington's never done that.
I believe that the road is being plowed now by the town.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of my other questions, is that if we say that, no, this will be a private road, what happens to maintenance and everything moving forward? It belongs to the four people who own it, for lack of a better term, right?
Yep.
Okay. Are we allowed to say, nope, this is going to remain a private road, you four people have to work out maintenance and everything else moving forward? Because I assume that there's water and sewer under those lines into the street too, right?
Remember there was a big outcry a couple of years ago in Middleborough, where the town actually required the people, Abington's.
Oh, I mean, if this goes to a private way, I would assume they're now responsible for plowing and everything else as well.
No, it's been the fire department that's pushed it in the past, but that was
Yeah.
prior to this fire chief.
Yeah. I'm just curious how that is within our purview, is to be able to say, no, this is a private road and we're not going to maintain it, and good luck.
I believe if the road is not accepted, then it would be the property owner's responsibility.
Are they aware of that?
I'm not sure, which is why that second part was to invite everybody
Yep.
to a meeting in September, but I'm sorry, in February. But I wanted you guys to have a chance to read the letter, absorb it, and then have a conversation,
With the neighbors,
well, tonight, to figure out
yeah,
Yeah.
course of action.
where you kind of wanted to go.
So do
Happy
we
to invite the
need,
neighbors and Mr. O'Leary back.
do we need clarification on the kind of questions that Rick is raising
All right,
from
so I have,
town council?
Does the street light need to, at the intersection, need to be installed? My initial thought is probably, because they were still installing street lights at intersections. No fire alarm visible along the roadway. I'm not sure those are being installed anymore.
They are not.
But I'm not sure what the fire department is requiring now instead of that, so that's definitely a question that needs to be asked.
Drainage basin?
Yeah, that's the one that I think, so obviously, the existing homeowners, as you said, Liz, kind of own out to the middle of the road. And
Yes.
there's precedent for exactly how that works. Where is the drainage basin?
If the detention basin is on your property, you own it, and it is actually on somebody's lot.
That's on somebody's lot.
Yep.
So they then become responsible for maintaining the detention basin,
So he's,
which Larry has indicated they have not done.
that property owner is also the one who didn't want to sign the waiver
The waiver for,
to get the roadway accepted.
who was not in favor
I
of
had one of the neighbors come in, and I walked her through the whole process. I gave her a copy of what a roadway acceptance process looks like, told her what it does, what it doesn't do, and then she was going to go back and talk to her neighbor. And then I sort of didn't hear anything, and then Mr. O'Leary told me that one of the homeowners didn't want to sign the paperwork sent out by his attorney, which is why he stopped pursuing the roadway acceptance.
Do we know how much it would require to get up to snuff? To do everything?
To a roadway acceptance, Larry doesn't believe the money we're holding would be sufficient.
Right.
Sounds like all we know is that it's more than...
So this was that Form L that was done 20 years ago.
It's more than 39,000.
Yep.
So who would be responsible? If the surety isn't enough, who would be responsible? Would they want the town to take this over and complete it?
Well, there's the...
Well, I guess that's part of the conversation that you guys need to have,
Yeah, well,
is if you want to pursue it or not. I mean, it's 20 years. Mr. O'Leary does not want to do it due to, I mean, I'll let you speak for yourself, but because one of the neighbors, one of the homeowner, the property owners, didn't want to sign the paperwork sent to him by, or them by Mr. O'Leary's attorney.
Can I invite Mr. O'Leary up?
Sure.
Mr. O'Leary?
Just one
please.
point of clarification on that,
Yep.
Liz. So the attorney sent something to the homeowner?
The four
To all- to
homeowners.
the four.
All four
and-
homeowners.
And that was asking them to sign what?
I don't have it with me at the moment, but it was...
But in general terms, what were they being
So
asked?
he said the town was going to take the road by eminent domain, which again was not correct, the correct way to phrase that, and I explained that to your attorney, that the only one who can take any, or allow anything to be taken by eminent domain would be the Board of Selectmen, not the planning board, so to speak. So I did have that conversation with your attorney after you sent me those documents.
Mr. O'Leary, could you identify yourself? and
Yeah,
where you live, please?
my name's James O'Leary. I built this subdivision a long time ago. During the process of construction, we had PMP Associates as a peer review engineer
Mike Perrella.
hired through the town,
Yes.
and they approved us every step of the way. The last bit of it, honestly, I dropped the ball. We were raising our 4 kids, and I was coaching everything in sight, and I kind of didn't go through the whole process. The bounds are in place. We had approved finished coats of asphalt, granite curbing, 8-inch granite curbing was installed properly. I haven't really had a chance to digest this letter. I know that driveway in question was altered by the second homeowner that's in there now when they put a big addition on and such, but, and everything else regarding fire alarm and street lights, none of that stuff was on the approved plan that I purchased. I bought this approved plan from the DeAngelises, who owned 241 Lincoln Street at the time. So we tried to follow everything to the letter. It was just a matter of not going through this final process of application. Again, we had 4 kids around the same time and kept us going. And with regards to the homeowners, I approached all four of them several times over. The first woman on Lincoln Street, and I'm going to forget her name, but she signed right away. Duggan, who was the other one that ended up his second owner of 241 Lincoln Street since I sold it, kind of was reluctant. I think everybody stopped when Ed Boyle decided he didn't want to sign for whatever reason. Flora was waiting for Boyle, so they kind of all had a few meetings, and then eventually, after 2 or 3 months of back and forth, Flora called me and said that he and Duggan wanted to sign, and they're trying to convince Boyle, but Boyle wants nothing to do with it, says he's going through some personal problems or whatever. But I think Boyle's big thing is the retention pond is, he thinks somebody's going to put a roadway through there into the wetlands out back. There's no getting to them.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it is either, but and these are guys, people that I had a pretty good relationship, post-construction for years, so I don't get it, but here we stand.
So it's finished a lot more than actually,
I'm sorry?
it's finished further along than this kind of indicates. But
Oh, yeah,
some sinking,
it was,
some
the
maintenance.
PMP had checked off everything along the way, right to the end. The last thing we were doing was putting the stone bounds in, which are in place. I know they're listed as not being there, but they're in place. The as-built plan was done. I think I may have submitted a copy of that, Liz, the as-built?
Well, in the summer you did.
Yeah.
Before, you mean?
No, but it's
Yeah.
dated back to then.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I think what the problem is that it's 20 years old, so what's coming out in this letter is the wear and tear that's happened to the curbing, and the basin needs to be cleaned, the detention basin hasn't been maintained.
Well,
So
you're not going to get on his land.
Right, right.
So Larry's list that he's got here is the original one back from 2000, whatever.
So he says the money that we're holding was put aside to cover those punch list items.
But a lot of these items weren't on Mr. O'Leary's punch list to punch. So I'm wondering if you eliminate the things that aren't supposed to be on the property, just the repair, what does that cost come up to? Because we're not doing any curves, we got to clean the drains, as-built's been done.
So that clean drains might go from 1,000 to 3,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know what those costs are now.
But again, I think
20
the
years later.
question that I've got is, so if we're not being asked to move this forward to public acceptance, then, and the drains aren't cleared, then, and I don't mean to be flippant, but why do we care? It's not our problem. If somebody's detention basin hasn't been maintained, but it's not going to become a town of Abington issue. Okay? So, maybe the thing backs up and causes the homeowner a problem, but it's...
I will say the only thing that the DPW director asked was that detention basin get cleaned before we accept the road.
But we're not accepting it.
Right.
And it doesn't seem like we can, because he won't go along with having it cleaned.
He won't go along with it, and we don't have funds to be able to do it. Or we don't have sufficient funds to be able to do it.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say that our only connection to the property now is the money we're holding. Because I've always said after that, it's the building inspector's thing. Coming back to the planning board after all the building permits have been done, it's kind of pointless.
So, given that it's kind of an unusual
Yeah.
set of circumstances, I guess that's why I'd wonder if it's worth just running it by town council and saying if the board were to come to the conclusion that we're just going to return the bond and let it ride, then is the board or the town of Abington, is there any subsequent liability? If the answer to that is no, then...
Can we run that past the town council, give them an opinion on this?
Yeah, I can ask. I think that's legitimate. So if if you think this will work, then how about everybody comes on February 2nd? We put this back on the agenda after I have an answer from town council. We invite the abutters. So everybody's on the same playing field and everybody
Yeah.
has the same information.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, even if the abutters chose not to come, that's their decision. But we should issue the invitation and ask them to make it available to the
Yeah,
town.
no, I understand it, for sure.
okay.
Do we need a motion to carry this to the next meeting?
No, I don't think so, because this was just a discussion, and you've given me some marching orders, so to speak. Check with the fire department, check with the DPW, check with town council. Is there anything else?
Anything else that you need from us, Mr. O'Leary?
I'm sorry.
Is there anything else that you need from us, or would you?
No,
He just
just
wants
a
his
check,
money back.
please.
Just wants his money back? Okay. I mean, maybe at the end of the day, we can get the drains cleaned,
Certainly the
right? And
manholes.
see if he can let us on to get the detention basin cleaned, because that was the only thing he asked
Yeah,
for, but,
I don't understand what his situation is, but I spoke to him
all right,
at length a few
I do not
times.
pretend to know these things.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so I will do all of that, and we'll reschedule this or schedule it for February 2nd?
I just wish there was a way to at least get the catch basins, clean the leaves off of those.
Ask the residents to get a shovel and a rake
Right.
and to go out and clean the basins.
It's something like that, I could do that. I just, I forget how many there are. There aren't more, probably
No.
not more than
And
two.
this- I think
And it might be
this-
just two together.
Right, and he's got that picture at the back. And I
I
mean, I
didn't
think
even get a
that's...
chance to look.
You have a copy? You have a copy of this?
I just gave him a
Yeah,
copy of that. Yeah, so it's... So he took a picture, or actually, I don't know, there might be, are there two next to each other out there?
On page 4.
Yeah, there's
Catch basin.
double-headed,
Okay, so that's where that is, at that low point. And I'll check those other things.
And then I guess the other, so that the town has been plowing
Yes.
all these years?
Yes, and that's another thing that Larry has suggested, that we get his list of roads that are not accepted that we're plowing, because we do it for the public safety.
Right.
And that we kind of put
Right.
that in writing on there, so everybody knows that they're getting plowed, but it's for public safety purposes, so fire and police can respond.
Right. That's the one thing, or I guess plowing, fire department,
Yep.
ambulance, all things of that nature, town-provided services
Right,
that would continue as they have been for,
yes. I mean, obviously, road maintenance would not come into play because we couldn't go
Right.
on the property.
right.
To go and plow for public safety purposes is one thing, but to go and
Right.
do maintenance on property that doesn't belong to the town is a different thing.
And, of course, to me, the catch basin's the detention pond because of, flow of surface water over the areas and stuff like that. It's important that there be adequate drainage for that and stuff like that.
to my knowledge from speaking with the homeowners, that retention pond has never had more than an inch of water in it anyhow. It was kind of always overkill, but
And I think that's what Larry said too, when I talked to him, was that it was functioning.
yeah.
Yeah, because a good detention pond don't have a pile of water in it.
Yeah,
Right,
right, that's
right.
all, I understand that, sure,
Right.
yeah.
All right, so our next meeting is February 2nd, and I'll
Okay.
put this at the top of the agenda.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming.
if that's okay with you, that I put it at the top of the agenda.
Yes.
So you have 4 kids that are all 20 now?
Older than that now, but
I have 4 kids, yeah. I'm just busy.
it was a lot of fun, though.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Look forward to coming back with the neighbors and stuff on February 2nd.
I'm sorry.
Look forward to coming back with more people and maybe Larry Silver on February 2nd.
Everybody will be here.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good night now. Okay, as long as we're, I guess we'll get around to the minutes and stuff like that at the end. You want to give us an update status on the water situation?
So I sent you guys all a quick snippet. I had emailed Crystal about the water situation and that we had, the Joint Water Commission had taken back, for lack of a better term, the water that had been set aside for 10 Railroad Street. And so she confirmed that, yes, they had done that, and that there's between 40 and 50,000 gallons left. And
Left for future, other developments?
yep,
Wow, that's not much of anything.
for 2 towns,
Oh, so it's 40 to 50,000 for both?
for both towns.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think they split it. I think it's first come, first serve.
What do they assign for a single-family house?
I don't know. Well, because I think they count beds now.
Oh, it was like, wasn't it like 30 gallons per day or something per bedroom
It
or something?
was, but I think they have flipped to, instead of a single-family home, it's a single-family home, how many bedrooms?
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, she would be much better able to answer that question.
Which is
don't
why I
know.
was hoping somebody could actually show up and talk to us. I guess this board really does not like us because they refuse to come.
I
before
actually
us.
didn't ask her because I know how straight out she is.
Yeah.
You know, she's got a lot of balls in the air, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the whole point, is to find out, you know, where is this capacity coming from? How long is it expected to last? What should we be taking into consideration during our permitting work? Is this it, period? There will be no expansion? I had read some permits where if they do certain things, they're going to get little increases over the next few years, but I don't know if they're doing those things.
So it's my understanding from last year
Yeah.
and several conversations that I sat in on, that they are looking at well expansion. Currently, all of their capital funds, as you know, has been pivoted unexpectedly to build treatment plants for PFAS.
Right.
I don't think we're the only ones in that boat, so to speak. So when those are done, they can then go back and allocate their capital funds to look at expansion of existing wells.
Yeah.
And I know that at that time, I went back through a bunch of stuff that this board had permitted, and taken like the stormwater plans and sent them along, because there's some formula with DEP about stormwater and like reclamation kind of stuff. So I know that they got a lot of that data, and that Tara, who works for Weston and Sampson, has kind of been putting it aside for when they do go back to DEP to adjust the permit.
Okay.
And my counterpart in Rockland did the same thing. So I know from both sources. The other thing is we have a grant and we're doing a watershed assessment and stormwater management stuff. So again, all of that data that we get, we can feed back to them. I'm not sure how much value it'll be, but we can hand it back to them and see what they want to do with it too.
So we have no sense of, the last update I had seen was, well, not the last, but, so we had the moratorium while they're trying to figure out exactly what their numbers were.
Right.
They figured it out, and then they kind of put together a list of projects that hadn't started or broken ground yet, and still was holding on to water, and I think they've taken away some of those projects, including the New England Art.
Yep.
So going through that process has kind of resulted in about 40 to 50,000 gallons of capacity left.
Yes.
Okay.
That they're fairly confident about. I know one of the things that she spent a lot of time going back through were the number of beds.
Yeah.
So you're building a house in a single-family home, let's say they had 1 bedroom, maybe 2, and now they're getting built with 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So a single-family home with the 1 or 2 is not the same with 3 or 4.
Right.
So I know they tried to clarify as much of that as possible. so they would have a better understanding of where it
And-
was all going.
And I know there's also concern with the large development in Rockland, that was going to eat up the rest of the capacity, but this number obviously includes...
Was that the 40B?
Yeah.
That I don't think, are those permits still valid? Yeah, I think was it the shingle?
Yeah, shingle something.
Shingle
mill?
something. I don't think that that's moving forward.
Okay.
That's a Rockland issue, but again, as part of that water consumption conversation, shingle mill.
It becomes an Abington issue because we...
It does, if
Yeah.
it sucks up the rest of the water, but I don't know that that's going to happen.
Yeah,
At least
that's my question is, I guess,
topical from those conversations.
yeah, my next follow-up would be, and you don't have to do anything with it at this point, is if we were to approve a restaurant, how much of that gets taken up in the 40,000? Is that 1,000? Is that 10,000? Is it?
Right.
I have no idea.
Right, and I think it's hard for them
Yeah.
if they don't have, like, literally boots on the ground drawings, right? How many sinks are you gonna have? How many
Yeah.
restrooms are you gonna have? With all the water consumers, like, they would need to know that. Is it a small restaurant? I think a big chunk of that for them is number of seats.
If it makes a lot of soup.
Right?
Yeah.
Washes a lot of dishes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all of that plays into it. It's amazing at the end of the day when you think all the stuff that actually needs to be accounted for, to calculate all of that stuff.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yep.
You want to do Union Point?
Sure, so I have no update on Union Point. I asked the old boss and the new boss, and nobody really had anything to say. The old boss said that it's up to the Board of Selectmen to have that representative come in and give an update, and I guess there's really not an update to give right now. What I did give to you in your packets was something that we received from Jim Young.
He's still there.
And I believe he is, yeah, I
He's
think
been there a long time.
he has. So I think this was just literally some, that lot consolidation plan. I haven't really looked at it. But that's literally the only thing I had to give you about Union Point, because there was no update otherwise, except that I guess they've received some money to run water down here.
Well, I mean, they passed the state law to allow them to lift the cap on housing, so...
Oh, okay. Well, so it makes sense that they'd,
But I think one of the things this does is, so currently, a lot of the lots, or a lot of the land up there that is in Abington, we were still collecting taxes on, but now it's being consolidated and turned into open space, and so we won't be collecting taxes on it anymore. So I think that was one of the impacts of this.
I can double check with the assessors on that.
It's going to be open space?
Protected open space. The fringe areas kind of around...
Yeah, that's not coming back.
No, I understand.
So it's not all of it, it's just that outside emerald necklace that they talked
Right.
about in their meetings.
But that is going from
Protected open-
taxable land
right,
to...
to protected open space. Yeah.
That's consistent, as I recall, with what they showed
Right.
us and told us
Yep.
when they came in, that they were going to have that.
Yeah, it's just there is a slight tax hit to coffers.
Yeah.
But with that new law that passed lifting the cap, it sounded like they were going to really start to look at where they can start building housing next. So, I don't know
I gotta go
where.
over there. I haven't been over there in a while. I gotta go see what's going on over there. Yeah. Okay,
And
Well,
the
in
intersection at
terms
Washington and Adams Street,
Rick, Shepherd, did you have another comment on something?
Yeah, I mean, so I'll admit that I have not sat down and studied this, but frankly, I don't know how to make heads or tails of it. I mean, we got the general description of kind of what it is, the intent is. But what are we looking at here, Liz?
Yeah, I can't tell
Yeah,
what's
I
before and
can't
what's
tell.
after. what's proposed and what's not.
Kevin, Liz, you want to make a
So if there's
statement?
lot consolidation, then
I would have to
how are we
look at
supposed
it.
to understand what that lot consolidation is by looking at
It
this?
came in the ho-ho Christmas time. When did they draw this? Yeah, so I have no idea. I think that they're just, I think,
That's right.
who was it? Whoever owned the land before had multiple corporations, and I think the land belonged to the Navy and the multiple corporations.
remember that. I
And I
remember
think
that,
that's what's
yeah.
happening, is that they've bought it all with those different names on it, and they're just making it all under,
Sure, registering it as under
Yes.
common ownership.
right.
Because I do remember seeing that when we were looking at this in depth before, was that there was still different entities that
Yeah.
owned different pieces and parts.
And then there was this SWNEC Uplender LLC. I think that might have been a bank. That's what that looks like to me, and I know that they had to buy some land back from banks. And
Refresh my memory, what's Jim's title over there? Jimmy?
I don't know. I got to be honest with you. He was the planner
He
over
was the
there.
planner, yes. 'Cause I was on the
I think he
advisory board
still
years
is.
ago.
Yeah.
But was the message that we're not able to have our rep come and address us, they can only address the select board?
I'm not sure that I phrased it. I just asked if there was an update or if they were
Okay.
having the rep come in and give them an update, and the answer was, don't have an update, and I don't know that that's an agenda item in the next month.
Okay.
Well, keep us posted.
If I see anything, I'll be sure to let you
That would be
guys
great.
know.
Yeah, and this is all informational for us,
Yep,
right? Nothing more.
Yeah, no, yeah.
right.
Because there's not much that, there's nothing we're going to do about it.
Yeah, they've come before us, remember when they did the rezone plan and all
Yeah.
that stuff?
Oh,
They
yeah.
made the presentation before us and the...
And once that was done, they were operating under their own
Yeah.
zoning bylaws.
Yeah.
And we were kind of,
Because they had to get the towns, the 3 towns
Yeah.
to agree to the
Yep.
new zoning.
I mean, I understand we have no oversight, it's just good for us to know
Sure.
in general.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, to the extent that, going back to the conversations that were had at the time, there's an impact upon schools,
Yeah.
there's an impact upon fire and police services. So, yeah, I mean,
That was the biggest impact, which is why we didn't want to develop the residential.
yeah.
It's come a long way since they wanted to put a mall there.
Yeah.
The mall would have been good. It probably wouldn't be open right now, but
All right, want to move on to the intersection of Adams and Washington Streets.
Yep, I sent along John Stone's update, that it's been out to bid. The design has been completed, and it's been out to bid. He did offer to come to a meeting after this weekend. I didn't ask him to come in tonight because they've been out salting and dealing with snowflakes. But as he says, he feels like it's an easy cut and dry project.
What are they, do you know what they're proposing to do?
Gonna tee it off.
Oh, they're going to tee it off?
Yeah, I think that's what, yeah, you'll come out and you can either go left or right, I'm not sure. I can ask him for the design specs if you want. Okay.
Is it being paid for through a grant, or or just the design was paid for the grant?
I would say if you got the grant, then the grant is paying for it. Usually what ends up happening is, with his kind of grants, we end up paying for the design,
Yep.
and then they pay for everything else.
Okay.
But I can double check that with him.
Would that have been on the OCPC tip? Transportation Improvement Program?
I don't know. Right? I don't think so. I don't know that
That's
it's a
it.
big enough project, and it's not.
I will text Charlie Kilmer, who's the Assistant Director of Transportation Planning Program Manager, and ask Charlie if this was on the tip. Transportation Improvement Program, Old Colony Planning Council. Speaking English.
So the plan is if you're driving north on Washington, you'll still veer off onto Adams like you currently do. If you're coming south on Adams, you'll be directed into a stop sign, and then you'll have to look left or right, and then
Yeah.
take a left to continue down Washington Street. You won't be able to kind of merge.
Yeah, or take a
onto
right
Adams.
to head towards Trukey's, or you can go straight across
straight
and
across
hit
the
Shar
shore.
Ave.
Yeah.
All right, so the design sheet and double check grant funding.
OCPC isn't having a GTC meeting this month, so,
Uh-oh.
anyway. All right, stormwater management checklist.
So for your viewing pleasure, Kevin, in his free time,
You keep him busy.
whipped up this checklist. We had to sort of work around so, like Linwood Street, they filed an exemption application to the stormwater because they don't have to file a stormwater application, a separate stormwater application, because all of that's being reviewed under the subdivision bylaws. They still have to abide by our stormwater bylaw, but they didn't have to fill out a separate application. I actually think they did anyway. I think it's in there, was in their set that they submitted. So,
Run that
We
by
had-
me again. They didn't have to submit
a
because,
separate stormwater application because their stormwater is being reviewed under the subdivision bylaw. They still have to
conform.
conform to our new subdivision, new stormwater bylaw.
And everything contained therein.
Yes, yes. But it's not a separate application like, for example, say somebody wanted to build a barn out in the middle of a field, and they were going to disturb more than an acre of land, getting to the barn, putting a road in and building the barn. They would have to file a separate stormwater application. It's not many instances that I think we're going to see a separate stormwater application.
Yeah.
I think it'll usually be excluded because they're doing site plan or subdivision.
Yeah, well, administratively, if they don't have to file a separate stormwater, but they're required to conform to everything
Yes.
that's in the stormwater,
Yes. Yep,
then we're in the same place.
right, if it quacks like a duck, it's still a duck.
It's an administrative
Yes,
issue.
yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's just one less piece of paper I get.
Yeah, okay.
Down the line, but they do have to comply with our current stormwater bylaws. So Kevin took this right out of the book, and obviously, if it's not a straight-up stormwater application, they don't have to give us some of this information, because we're going to get that in the regular subdivision or site plan application. We're going to get the abutters, blah, 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 blah. Right, if they're doing a project of that magnitude.
Is this something you want us to vote to
To
accept?
approve, yeah.
Yes.
This was Rick's idea, so we can keep track of the bouncing ball to make sure that when we're getting submissions, we're getting all the information that's required.
Rick Collins.
Rick Shepherd.
Oh,
Well,
Rick Shepherd.
the other
Sorry.
one.
I'll be clear about that.
Want to sit next to me?
So I think we've now had this on our books for 6 years, something like
Close.
that.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing many formal permits that we've, quote-unquote, approved.
It's been contained in their decision letters.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
So when they file an erosion control plan and an O&M, that's reviewed by the engineer, but we don't necessarily see it
Correct.
because I assume it's pretty,
It comes in the stormwater calc, so I get 3 copies of those,
Yeah.
one for the file, one for the town clerk, and one for the engineer.
And for my part, I don't really need or want to see the calcs because I don't
I don't know
understand them
why.
anyways.
I don't know why, it's so
Well, you should do a
fascinating.
presentation on it.
However, things like the erosion plan or the operational plan
Yeah.
and kind of identifying who the responsible party is
Yeah.
that's going to be doing responsible for those things.
Right.
I think those are things that I for my part, I would like to see
Yep,
to make sure that they've, the individual or entity that's submitting the application has incorporated all of those things into the submission, and that it's on the record that, in our meetings, that, we had an opportunity to see those things and identify the specific individuals who were going to be responsible. I mean, I think tonight, we've seen another instance where there was a detention basin that was put in, right? And 20 years later, nobody's ever looked at it.
Right.
And the stormwater regs specifically try to make sure that's not going to happen.
Right.
That somebody's not going to create a detention basin and then just walk away.
Right.
So if somebody's responsible for maintaining it, we know who that person is,
Right.
and so on and so forth, then we have somebody to hold accountable.
So why don't we amend this so that they have to actually fill in who the person responsible is?
I think that's in the reg.
Yeah, I mean, but we can get it on this one sheet,
Yeah, okay,
right?
sure.
And then maybe add something until such time as roadway acceptance, when the town becomes responsible. So, or somehow put something in there that it's going to be the developer.
Right.
And then if they sell the house, it becomes the homeowner because it becomes their property, unless they work out an agreement. And then if the town accepts it, then it will be the town, when they take that easement, that's the detention basin, it will be the town, or not.
Okay.
Yeah, the type
Right,
of thing
'cause I
would have to
guess-
be
I guess-
recorded in a deed, right? That if it's falling
It's
to the
on the
home,
plan.
to the, well, for the homeowner.
Yes, yes,
So when
yes,
you're buying a
yes.
home, you have to know you are assuming responsibility for the detention basin as well.
So I'm not, I agree with you 100%. I'm not sure that's being followed.
Okay.
So,
Just to move us along, Rick Shepherd, thank you for your initiative in getting the ball rolling on this.
Kevin did.
Kevin, well, no, but you got you made the
all right,
initiative.
so we'll,
But if someone would like to make a motion to accept this
we're gonna,
with the amendment.
we're gonna rework this so that the name or names of the people and how that will continue to work through the process on here. So then we have one sheet we can leave in the file that has, so it's like a one glance thing. So we'll bring it back next month.
So you want to put this on the agenda for vote?
I do. We'll put it back on for February.
Good. Well, thank you for your work, and thank you, gentlemen. All right, next up, discussion of the recommendations to the Select Board on Economic Development Package.
All right, Kevin gave you guys right before the meeting, Rick Collins's ideas for this agenda item.
So these are mine. I hope others have other ideas too. The genesis of this is that the town continues to see dwindling amount of commercial tax base. Part of that is because we see an increase in residential, but part of it also is because our industrial and commercial tax base has not grown much. Particularly in our Abington Center, North Abington Center, the amount of investment, private investment we've seen in those two areas has been probably below average compared to other regions. If you go to Rockland and Whitman, they've seen more investment and development than we've seen in our towns. And that's problematic considering we just had 15 years of strong economic growth, low interest rates, a lot of interest in our town, but those two areas have just remained completely unchanged except for, I think, Bemis Drug, I think is the only place that has had any private investment significant in the past 15 years, which is a real problem.
Target got a tax break too, Rick, you know?
Yep. I wasn't sure if Target did, but I know Walmart did.
They did. I was on the board when they did that.
And then if you look north of Route 18, the areas are developed, but they're underdeveloped in terms of what their potential could be. They're storing mounds of mulch and rock or being as a laydown area for construction, and that's not their maximum benefit. So
Yeah, for sure.
when people say, well, everything's built out, it's not built out. There's stuff on it, but it's not fully built out.
I just try to convince people of that.
That's a lot of land.
It's a lot of land. It's more land there than we have up at the air base, to put it in perspective. And then if you go down 123, there's definitely opportunities as well. Those corridors have a lot of, single-story car lots, but not a lot of other areas. So anyway, long way of saying is that economic development in this town really has stalled out. I think on this board, I'm now in year 13, I think we've done 3 commercial developments in 15 years, and that's really not healthy. So as planning board members, we don't have a lot we can do directly. So the idea was to make some suggestions to the select board that they can then do what they want with, delegate out to, et cetera. First is just to have some direct meetings with landholders along Route 18 and Abington Center, North Abington Center, find out why we're not seeing any investment, find out if there's obstacles that we can remove, if there's anything we can do to work with them, to support future development plans. Let's find out what those issues are. Second one is direct meetings with some major employers, especially healthcare organizations. If you go up and down 18, from Weymouth down to Whitman and East Bridgewater, every town has these medical buildings, and for whatever reason, they've kind of skipped over Abington. And so when they, South Shore Partners or Brigham and Women's or whoever is looking for their next place, instead of Libby Parkway in Weymouth, can we get something down here in Abington where we have 30,000 people a day driving through our town? Let's take advantage of the fact we have 4 major state roads coming through here. And I think you need to reach out directly and find out why we're not seeing anything in Abington. Creation of TIF districts or other economic incentive zones. I know these are typically used by larger cities, but I think other towns have used them. I think Hanover's used them. I think parts of Hingham have used them, but it's opportunities to provide tax incentives to invest in the area, particularly North Abington Center, Abington Center. And they can look at any of the commercial districts if they want to. But, I know it's a little bit controversial to give tax breaks for private development, but not giving them hasn't worked either. So they should at least have a conversation to see if this is a tool that they should be taking advantage of in creating some of these economic development zones.
Rick, I think Abington is an economic development district. I think that was voted when I was on Old Colony Planning Council. So if you guys could look into that. But I think Abington is an EDD. And if it is, that does the TIFs and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yep. So I remember when Cape Cod Lumber went through theirs, that they had to go into Boston for a meeting with an economic council to get it approved. That's worked out wonderfully for us. We have this great development, and we've seen an overall net increase in taxes from that development. But we need to figure out what other tools we can use to lure more investment.
Yeah, he hired a consultant, and I know her name, but this woman her firm specializes in doing this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And she was very good.
So, then a couple others are just increased outreach and marketing. We've done a great job. If people come to the website, give them the information they need, but I think we need to work a little bit more on putting our name out there and making people think about Abington, whether that's through chambers, whether it's through industry events, but something just kind of to get the name out there more. And the last one is to talk with the state about opportunities for New England art. We mentioned that earlier in the meeting, that the redevelopment has stalled. They've taken back the water. But with the state's focus on the need for housing, we have a site, we have infrastructure. I would love to have a conversation, or I think the town needs to have a conversation with Mass Development, Mass Housing, find out what opportunities are there to turn this building into residential units, especially since it's located in one of our major commercial districts.
I know that Chris Cooney, the Metro South Chamber in Brockton, and the South Shore Chamber of Commerce, we used to have an economic development committee in Abington, and I was active on it when I worked at Old Colony, and so was South Shore Chamber. And that's great connections. You guys ever gone to any of the chamber events?
No.
No. Well, it would be good to, the Chamber of Commerce have economic development committees.
Yeah.
And, if we want to market the town, I think we should reach out to the Chamber's economic development committees.
Yeah.
I know, I'm trying to think of the guy who he recently retired from the South Shore Chamber, but I know he was really active in this. And I used to go to a lot of events when I worked at Old Colony. So I think that would be a great help toward marketing it. And also, and make sure that our town is included in their, economic development, land available, zoning, we have sewer, we have a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think we're an EDD, Economic Development District, which, our pluses on check marks when businesses seek to locate in the town. I've always wondered why we never had any medical. I mean, just you right up the road in Weymouth there is, and down at Whitman there's a big
East Bridgewater.
in East Bridgewater, they have,
Yeah.
medical complex. And East Bridgewater just got sewer to that. They ran a pipe from Brockton, from Whitman to that, in East Bridgewater Center. But they built that without sewer, which is pretty amazing.
So, I mean, if we're going to get all their traffic, we might as well get some of the development too.
Yeah, exactly.
So these are just 5 ideas I had. I'm hoping other people have other ideas that we can recommend. And just to unlock some of the development. The town's despite everything else, has so much going for it in so many ways, as you started to speak about, Bruce, that I don't understand why we haven't seen more, to be perfectly honest. So I think we
just
need
don't-
to be more active in it.
Rick, if we are, and I believe we are, an economic development district, and that can offer the TIFs and stuff like that. Obviously that was done with Cape Cod Lumber and I think Target, and Walmart was done in 1994, 95. That was before I was on the board. It's before I got married, but I remember that going on. And so if I need Liz and Kevin to check and see if we are an economic development district, and we can do all kinds of, there's all kinds of things you can do if you're an economic development district,
Well,
including
to
TIFs.
Rick's point, I mean, if all of that is true, then that becomes a selling point
Yeah, part of the marketing
Part
for
of
the
the
town.
marketing.
And I
to make
think,
people aware of those things.
and
This is a good place to look.
I think, as I said, I think we need to get on the radar of the Metro South Chambers Economic Development Committee and the South Shore Chambers Economic Development Committee. And, because they overlap, the South Shore and Metro South overlap. And if we have 2 chambers working for us, and the Economic Development Committees and stuff like that, and Liz and Kevin, I guess if I could direct you to do this in my position as chair, or if it's the board's consent, that we direct our planners to reach out to the chambers as far as enhancing marketing efforts and things like that.
Agree. I mean, I like this whole list, made sense to me, but my only, we got the why and the goal, but I was kind of like, how? That's the tough part, is reaching how to...
Well, that's why I think it needs to go through the select board. The other town's executive committee, they direct the personnel, or they can work with the town manager to direct the personnel on what priorities are. We can't do that as the planning board. So that's why I think it has to go through the select board and the town manager. And maybe they don't know what tools and levers are available to them to work, but if we can at least provide them kind of a roadmap of things they can do, they can start to put together a plan.
It'd be another good thing to check. Before I retired in 2020, I completed a 5-year, me and other people completed something called the SEDS document, the Comprehensive Economic Development Plan. And my successors at Old Colony Planning Council, Don Sullivan and Nick Giaquinto, have completed a brand-new Comprehensive Economic Development Plan. And of course, Old Colony includes Abington in the district. So I'm going to go on OCPC's website tomorrow and see if that draft SEDS is available, or the completed SEDS is available. And I would ask you guys to do that too, and see, if Abington's, I'm sure Abington's included in it. And, as an economic, I'm trying to speak in words, not in acronyms, but if Abington is included in the Economic Development District, you can read in that Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy what tools are available to us to market the community. And, I did 5 or 6 of those SEDS in the time I was at OCPC. and I know it's a really good document. So, just, and Rick, I'm sure you're going to look it up tonight when you get home. But, so I'm just trying to add, as an experienced economic development planner for many years, to your comments.
Yep. So if there's anything anyone else has for thoughts, maybe forward them on to me between now and the next meeting. And the next meeting, we can make an official recommendation, send it on out.
Yeah.
Because we need to...
But please do look in the
create
current
something.
sets that Don and Nick have done. Actually, maybe we could invite Don or Nick to come to a planning board meeting
Yep.
sometime.
That'd be fun.
Would that be something you guys would be on board with?
Sure.
Yeah, if you could reach out to them, Liz. That'd be good to put Don and Nick in the hot seat that I used to be on when I had to present on said
think that-
documents.
There'd be an advantage to actually putting together some kind of presentation, getting in front of the selectmen, right?
Yep.
And certainly, sending up a document set or a set of recommendations makes all the sense in the world, but it might be more impactful if we stand there in front of them and say, we need your help. The
Right.
town needs your help. Not just us, the town needs your help. Because we're languishing, and we got to do everything we can.
I'm sure this can't be a new idea for them either. They must have something.
But probably not something that they've got a lot of focus on, or they don't think about a lot.
Well, that's right, yeah. It's good about one board bringing it the attention. It helps focus on something.
Well, guys, this is nothing. In fact, Old Colony Planning Council, not every regional planning agency is an economic development district. But Old Colony Planning Council is a U.S. U.S. Department of Commerce, U.S. Department of Commerce, Economic Development Administration, EDA, regional economic development district. And, Old Colony gets a grant every year for that. And so they put together this comprehensive economic development strategy. And if you go up 18 now, past the Mirabal Ballroom, there's a sign on the side of the road that US EDA funded a project in East Bridgewater on 18. And U.S. Economic Development Administration will fund economic development projects in towns. It depends on income and the unemployment and stuff like that. But maybe that's something we could look forward to EDA potentially to give us some federal funding to work on economic development projects, seeing as we are in a federally designated economic development district. So, again,
Everything helps.
all you do is ask me. But yeah, no, it's great.
Write it down.
It's all in my head, because I did this for so many years.
Yeah. Write it down.
Mr. Chairman, if I could interrupt for a reversal, I have to, because I have to get home for personal reasons. I don't know if we had...
Okay, well, we've discussed this. Could we at least approve the minutes before you? Sure. Okay. You guys had a chance to read the minutes?
Yeah.
From December 1st and November 3rd. Any comments, questions, additions, subtractions?
Is the amount of surety on the December 1st minutes correct with regards to Gordon Circle?
No, it's the 39,000, but I thought it was 60 at the time. How about we change that to she thought?
Where's that, Liz? Right here. Okay, okay. I see.
She thought.
Okay, she thought. She's thought instead of she stated.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else we need to address? Okay. Let's approve both of these at the same time.
Hold on.
Oops, no.
We couldn't approve November 3rd, because who was not here? You or you?
I was here, Rick Collins was here. That's
Okay,
your
so
choice.
why don't you do December 1st, and then Jeff can scoot,
Okay,
because he can't vote on I'm sorry, do December 1st, because he can't vote on November 3rd,
Okay, motion to approve the December 1st meetings, please,
as amended.
minutes as amended.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you, thank you very much, guys.
All right, Jeff, when you're on your way out, do you think you can sign those documents?
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
Okay, yep.
thank you.
All right, anything else? Can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
How about the November 3rd minutes?
Okay, November 3rd minutes, excuse me. Now, Jeff can't vote on them because it was...
Nope.
Motion to approve?
Motion
Second.
approved, seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? So, ZBA?
Zoning Board of Appeals. Does anybody have any comment on that?
1 second.
I read it, I didn't see anything, so...
Nope.
Nothing?
The Oak Street hearing's a little complicated, though, what I've seen.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So I just have very quick, we're kicking off the work on our zoning grant. So we're having a meeting on the 22nd, and Bruce is going to represent you guys. I have the chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals attending, Sean Riley, and Nick Jenks as the building commissioner, just to go over some, like, big idea stuff, like, do we want to do repeal, replace? Do we want to go through every page of the zoning bylaw and cross out and fix? So I guess that's kind of where we're starting, so then we can get the scope of work settled.
What was the other working group that we participated in with those guys? There was another thing.
Oh, housing production plan,
Housing
which has
production.
been submitted to the state, we're awaiting approval. Open space and recreation has gone to the state and has come back with edits. Those are being worked on.
Oh.
So-
Anything substantial?
No, not that I've heard, but it's not surprising. I heard that from the outset, that we
Where's
were
that get-
never going to get it through.
Where does it get submitted to?
I cannot remember, but it's one person who does them. She's been there for a long time.
I remember it because I remember having to go through this person.
Melissa
Yeah,
Cryan.
Melissa Cryan,
Right, it's
thank
Melissa
you.
Cryan.
With which agency?
Do you remember where? It's not DCR, it's not EOLHC, is it?
No, it's Executive Office of Environmental Affairs.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Oh, I can just walk upstairs and find out then.
There you go. Find out what's on her desk. No. So,
She's a great lady.
Rhiannon is doing the edits, if she's not already done. She came back to us for some information. but-
Rhiannon from OCP.
Duggan from OCPC, yep, our consultant.
Yes.
Jason Drossier, who's our housing production consultant, and now doing our zoning.
So OCPC is doing the zoning consulting?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And then in a year, we have to start thinking about funding for a master plan,
Also
which
wanted,
we'll need to do needs to be done in 2029. So
also,
we'll need to get the funding in 2028.
I just wanted to quickly mention too that we're going to have, we're going to try to have a joint meeting of the Abington Housing Trust and the Housing Authority on issue for people with health problems as far as housing and stuff like that in Abington. And since I have nothing to do, I will put that agenda together tomorrow
Okay.
and get that in, and that would be a good discussion too. And if anybody from the planning board would like to go, I know you work during the day, Rick, but anybody else can come.
So I would like to ask if you guys have anything in your head about the zoning bylaw that, I mean, we're trying to obviously get rid of redundancies, we're trying to get things matched and in sync. So anything you can think of, just send them to me as you think of them, and we'll put them in a file, because we're going to start working.
So what you just mentioned is kind of, I don't mean to say it's not It doesn't necessarily affect the substance of the zoning bylaws. So consolidation, where there may
It
be
could affect the
redundancies.
substance, and that will be up to you guys, the zoning board of appeals, Nick.
So is the purpose to introduce changes to the zoning bylaws as well? So as we talk about what we were just talking about for economic development and the different things, maybe there's an opportunity here to get some of that.
So one of my thoughts is to do mixed use on sections of Route 18. I don't want to broad brush all of Route 18 because some of it is very residential, and it would be difficult to plop, a store in between a couple of houses, but to maybe expand some of the commercial uses where they would have
Yeah, for example.
residential
Yeah.
apartments to help them with the mortgage or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because residential steady and commercial rentals can be unsteady.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was one thought I had that I've dropped into that bucket if you guys have any, and I'm sure that same kind of concept would work on 123.
I have a couple, drop them in.
Yep, just send them to me and we're putting them in a file, and then we're gonna see what we come up with, and then kind of come back to maybe a joint meeting with you guys and the zoning board, see what you like, what you don't like. But the goal is next year at town meeting to get this adopted. And then, speaking of adoptions this year, I'm still waiting to hear back from town council. I didn't send anything to town council, the town manager did. There's a model bylaw for marijuana retailers. I'm not sure.
Cafes?
No, for the sellers. I know, the cafe thing I haven't even,
We already have one.
we do. They're asking that we adopt the model bylaw, which I'm not sure we want to do, and yeah, I mean, it's all about providing equity for those, what was, the Adam Street was a social equity. So I think it's they're trying to even the playing field, but I was like, well, we already have a social equity partner in town, so why do we need to do it? I don't know. So anyway, that's a question I've asked to see what comes back on that. The cafes, different conversation.
Yeah.
And I don't think we need to do it this year if you don't want to. Although, again, I think maybe in some downtown centers, that might be a little economic driver.
Yeah.
Because it would be away from where they're selling it and in a different area.
In the absence of a bylaw that addresses that, then the default is that nobody in town could open up a cafe.
Correct.
Correct.
And we'll also have a solar and storage bylaw to talk about next year.
So this year, all I can see, because like I said, I'm trying to get all of this stuff into next year's town meeting, so we all have a chance to look at it, study it, think about it. Even before we get to the public engagement piece, which will probably be a year from now. But, so this year we have to do the ADU, the part that the Attorney General didn't like, which was a very, doesn't impact the bylaw itself. It was really a word.
No, I wasn't
Doesn't
aware that
really
they
change.
sent it back.
Yeah, well, with only that one change that we have to make.
I can talk to them too, they're my new friends.
There you go. There you go. That, and we need to, on that in-law one, we have to change part of it in the bylaw, because it says you can still do it by special permit. So we have to change the language, and we changed the use table. And then this model bylaw for marijuana. So that's all I got tonight.
Yeah, I'm not trying to lengthen this meeting, but I've still kept my membership in the American Planning Association, and the latest paper magazine that came out, Planning, December issue, has an article on ADUs and stuff like that. If you guys get that, do you belong to ADU?
No, we could.
$200 a
We
year.
could.
Well, I get to retire.
If I can add one thing for consideration, if not the next meeting, the meeting after that. We do have an updated town charter. And one of the updates to the town charter was requiring boards to adopt kind of like operating policies. This is how meetings work, this is how you get on board meetings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is how people can participate in meetings, kind of adopt a whole thing. The goal was to find ways to encourage public engagement and participation. Every board is required to do it. Not every board knows about it because we haven't actually updated the version that's online.
The process.
So, at an upcoming meeting, we'll want to have a conversation about this whole piece of it. I'll send around the language that was adopted, but I will say that part of the purpose of it was to find out ways to adopt policies that will encourage public participation and engagement. And that applies to all boards, elected and appointed.
It's on the website.
So I'll forward that along.
Yeah.
And whether that's February or March, it's fine, but
All right, is March work, because February is going to be...
yeah, that's what I kind of figured.
But I think we've done something similar that's on the website. I'm going to have
Okay.
Kevin send it to everybody tomorrow, but it is how you get to the board, what you can do when you're here.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
You may have borrowed that from another community
Yeah.
and then spiffed it up to be Abington-esque. So I think that's actually on the website. I'll have him send it to you guys, and you can let us know what you want to add, subtract, whatever, and then we'll put it on for March?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to slip in another commercial. I'm on the Board of Citizens Planner Training Collaborative, and they're offering online courses this month, several interesting.
Kevin's on for 2.
Yeah, so guys want to look at that, CDBC, and of course, they will have their annual conference at Holy Cross in March, and I'm on the planning committee for that, and we're already...
Are we having good food?
I'm a retired planner.
Are we going to have good food? I think that's the most important thing, Bruce,
Yes,
is that we have excellent food.
Well, I will be presenting. I will be presenting, so I will see you there.
Really?
You're going to present it there? Oh, that's right. didn't you?
Really?
Yep.
So you talked to,
At Holy Cross in February, I mean in March?
I am also presenting at the Mass Municipal Annual Conference, for anyone who might be going to that one.
yeah, I used to go to those, those were fun.
I have never
We have
been.
to sign up for a special class?
Friends and family?
What is it?
Friends and family discount?
No, we'll pay.
Oh, for a CPTC or?
Yeah, for CPTC.
To be determined. I'm trying to remember who I've been working with.
All right, well, we'll see that when it comes out.
Elaine,
No.
Winter?
No.
Kevin's writing it down right now,
Let's see, who is it,
so
housing?
we'll be the first to sign up.
The, I don't know, energy permitting. It's,
Okay.
I want to say Amy, but it's not Amy. It's, whatever.
All right. It's a great board. I'm glad I'm still involved in that.
Yep.
And it's a terrific organization. It's up to, and of course Kevin liked to go there because he's an alma mater. This is alma
And
mater.
it's his birthday.
Is it today your birthday?
Yep.
Happy birthday,
to
Kevin.
you, sir. And Mr. Attorney Sean
How come
Riley.
that's not on the agenda?
Attorney Sean Riley, of course, is Holy Cross alum too.
Absolutely.
I've been going to I've gone to every CTPC conference over the years, so I should be an alum. I've been going over 20 years.
Right?
It's crazy. All right, anything else we need to talk about tonight?
Nothing.
Nothing. Great meeting, guys.
Right.
We have to still sign things over there, and motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.